Welcome to this cozy story corner. Today, I bring you a classic tale filled with cleverness, wit, and just a little bit of vanity. Come along as we find out what happens when a very sly fox meets a very proud crow. This is the story of the fox and the crow. Enjoy! The Fox and the Crow. Deep within an ancient forest, where the trees had grown tall over centuries and whispered secrets to the wind, lived a proud and striking crow. His feathers were as black as midnight, with a shimmering sheen that caught the sunlight just right. His eyes were sharp and clever, always scanning the world around him. This crow was no ordinary bird. Animals throughout the forest spoke of his intelligence and quick wit, but they also whispered, just out of earshot, that he had a touch of vanity. The crow did love attention. He would often perch high in the trees just to be admired, and he especially liked when others complimented his sleek feathers or graceful flight. One crisp morning, as golden rays of sunlight warmed the forest floor and dew sparkled like tiny diamonds on the leaves, the crow took to the skies. His belly rumbled. He hadn't eaten since the previous day, and he was determined to find something delicious to fill it. He flew over meadows and winding rivers, scanning the ground below. And then, near a small human village on the forest's edge, something caught his eye, a glint of yellow tucked beside a bin. "Is that cheese?" the crow thought, circling lower. Indeed it was. A thick, creamy, golden slice of cheese, left behind by a careless human. It looked rich, it smelled wonderful, and it was just waiting to be taken. "What a lucky find!" the crow exclaimed in his mind. He swooped down, snatched it up in his beak, and flew off toward the forest, eager to enjoy his feast in peace. He landed on the sturdy branch of his favorite tree, a tall old oak with thick arms and a perfect view of the forest. There, he settled down, holding the cheese tightly in his beak, savoring the anticipation before the first bite. But nearby, beneath the trees, a fox with reddish fur and cunning eyes was roaming through the underbrush. She had not eaten in nearly a day, and her stomach growled in protest. The night's rain had dampened her den and scared away most of her prey. She was tired and hungry. Suddenly, a scent reached her nose. It was creamy. It was salty. It was unmistakable. "Cheese!" she said aloud, perking up. Following the scent with practiced stealth, she crept closer and closer, until her eyes spotted the crow high in the tree, clutching the golden treasure in his beak. "Well, well! What a sight!" she thought, hiding behind a bush. "I can't climb that tree, and if I rush him, he'll just fly away. But maybe, just maybe, I don't need to steal. I just need to persuade." The fox smoothed her fur, composed herself, and strutted confidently toward the base of the tree. With her best voice, sweet and smooth like honey, she called out, "Oh, is that the magnificent crow I see above me?" The crow tilted his head, unsure. He didn't drop the cheese, but he was definitely curious. "It is you," the fox continued. "How fortunate I am today. What a regal figure you cut, up there in the sunlight. Your feathers shine like polished onyx. Truly, you are a marvel among birds." The crow's eyes sparkled. He puffed out his chest a little. Still, the cheese stayed in his beak. "And," said the fox, circling the tree slowly, "they say you possess not only beauty, but a voice so sweet that the forest goes silent to hear it. That your song moves even the stones." She paused and looked up. "Would you honor me with a note, great crow? Just one song. Just a whisper of that golden voice." The crow hesitated. He knew he held a valuable meal in his beak. But the praise. What if she was right? What if he was the greatest voice in the forest? Surely a single note wouldn't hurt. Overwhelmed by flattery, he took a deep breath and opened his beak to sing. Plop! Down fell the cheese, tumbling through the air. And in a flash, quicker than thought, the fox leapt and caught it in her mouth. "Ah!" she sighed, chewing with delight. "Delicious! Just as I hoped." The crow looked down in horror. His prize was gone, his song forgotten. The fox licked her lips and smiled up at him. "Dear crow," she said sweetly, "sing as much as you like, but maybe next time, not with your mouth full. And remember, not all praise is honest. Some flattery is just bait." With that, she turned and sauntered into the trees, her belly full and her trick a success. The crow sat on his branch, frozen in place. Embarrassment burned in his chest. He had been outsmarted, and he knew it. I let pride blind me, he thought. I traded something real for empty words. For a long time, he didn't move. The wind rustled the leaves gently, almost as if whispering its own lesson. The other animals didn't laugh. They didn't have to. The crow had learned enough. From that day on, the crow remained clever, but wiser. He still flew proudly, still perched high, but he listened to compliments with cautious ears. And he never, ever, let go of a treasure just for the sake of praise. Moral: don't be fooled by empty flattery. Those who praise you most sweetly may not always mean you well. Vanity can make you blind to what truly matters. And that's the end of our story for today. What did we learn? That not everything that sounds sweet is true, and we must be careful with empty compliments. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. See you next time for another adventure.